There you go.
Okay, let's begin. So, shut up, princess. So Kennel is back. We'll start off with that. So, last time we tried doing a town hall without Kennel. Kennel being the text channel that Princess speaks in, and I think the consensus was that most people who were watching were fine without having Kennel. It was harder for the speakers to follow along with what she was saying though. So having Kennel back is just going to sort of make it easier for us at least, maybe for you guys too, just to see what Princess's input is. To save you having to swap around between channels, I will be reading out what she says as well. I'll put my best female voice for that. And so you won't have to miss anything as it's going along. Obviously, you can view Kennel as well, so you can see what she's saying. But I'll be reading it out as we go. Not in a female voice, that was a joke. So...
Before we start, should we do introductions?
Hi everyone, my name is Arptastic, and I'm the leader of Totus.
Hello, my name is Basky, and I'm a general in Totus.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Princess.
Hi, I'm Metal.
What are you in Totus?
Gay.
Ozzy's next.
I'm Ozzy, I'm also gay.
That timing, okay.
No one's having issues. They're just being silly. Princess, are you going to be talking in Town Hall or Kennel? I made Kennel for you.
But she's just talking in here now. She doesn't know what she wants.
Okay, alright. For serious replies that we need to see.
Moonbjorn's saying you can only hear up.
He's joking. Okay, look, there are no more technical issues. My microphone was the only one. Everyone else is trolling. So, anyway, you will notice the podium is hosting an extra person this time around. Now, obviously, we did grant the promotion to Aussies. We did that a little while ago now. And we, in addition to the town halls on the third Sunday of every month, we have a private gen meeting. So we actually already welcomed him in that. But since we've not done it in sort of like a public forum, apart from Twitter, if that counts, welcome Aussies to the team.
Welcome Aussies.
Round of applause.
Thank you, thank you.
What?
What was that?
So now that Aussies is part of the team, he's actually already been trained up in the role that he will be fulfilling. This is sort of, I wanted to talk about this briefly, just how Aussies has been integrated into the team. Those of you who remember when Basky was promoted to general may remember that he wasn't really given any roles or anything for quite a while. It was only, I say recently in comparison to when he was made general, given roles to do. This was sort of down to like bad planning, things like that. Also, it was kind of bad timing because it was just after 1.4 had come out. But we sort of learned from that. You know, I've heard it directly from Basky, which has been helpful. The sort of things that should have been done like kind of differently. So the feedback has been appreciated there. And Aussies is already, like I say, he's already integrated into the team. I, for one, think he's integrated really well. Aussies has sort of caught on to things very quickly. For those of you who are unsure what he's doing, he's actually taken over the role that I have or had with members. So after Basky processes an application and messages them on Twitter to say, you know, we've accepted your application, can we please see initial proof? Aussies would then be the one who looks at the initial proof, issues the spreadsheet, requests more proof if needed once they're done, and then he's the one who actually now lets them into the clan, so adding them to subreddit, CML, adding them in game, and posting the welcome tweet. So that pretty much covers the whole journey anyone could have joining Totus now, because that's covered by all 4 of our gens, meaning that I have the sort of, I'm left with the sort of the trimmings. I deal with the kicking people and a few other, you know, the bits that don't quite fit in anywhere else. But the main journey is sort of covered by our 4 gens now. So regardless of what sort of stage you're at, you're likely to talk to one of our to all of our generals at some stage. That said, all of our generals have a extra thing that they do. We sort of touched upon this the last general meeting we had. You know, Basky does the high scores, Princess processes super verified requests, Matto does the name changes and checking Twitter to make sure everyone's still following us. I think eventually Aussies will get his own additional role. It's just we didn't want to sort of swamp him down with everything the minute he becomes general. And like I said, but he's caught on really quickly, I think. In terms of things we want to raise, pretty sure I said this last time, but this time around too, I don't think there's an awful lot I want to go through. There are only really a few things that come to mind, and they're sort of just continuations from when we spoke in our previous general meeting. Now that things have settled down, and I've got a bit more time now that I don't have any of the member stuff, I've picked up doing quizzes again. We had our last quiz, when was that? Last Sunday, wasn't it?
Where's Marnix?
Wow, a week ago already.
A whole week. But we've been doing this thing where we said, you know, Town Hall is the first Sunday of every month, rather than like specifying a date. And I think that's worked quite well, because that way we can just always guarantee it's going to be on a weekend, and we don't have to fret around thinking, oh, when's it going to be? So I think doing the quizzes in a similar fashion is going to be beneficial. So I was thinking maybe just doing a quiz on the last Sunday of every month.
Yeah, cool.
1 quiz a month.
1 quiz a month.
We can do
But
that,
actually
can't
stick
we?
to it this time. It's it was nice doing quizzes again. I have missed them. It's just getting into like sort of the routine for it. Once you start them, you sort of get into the rhythm anyway, and people seem to enjoy it, especially since we haven't had one in ages.
Yeah, it was really lively, the last one we had.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
In addition to that, the other thing which is going to pop up eventually is events. So not the big boy events, the smaller events that we talked about reviving at some point. Possibly ones that are hosted by our players rather than ourselves. I'll look into the details of that, and I think we'll have to decide how that's going to work, probably in a private gen meeting, I expect, because it's going to be, I imagine that would be something we dwell on for quite a while. But again, I imagine that fitting in the sort of same way the other things have. We just choose a Sunday and say it's the same Sunday of every month, or a Saturday, whatever. I think last time we did it on Saturdays.
Well, we have 2 weekends a month where we're not doing town halls, we're not having a private general meeting. And
How many Sundays are there a month?
4. Well, it depends.
4 or 5, isn't it?
I think 3's possible. Is 3 possible?
Is it?
Possible.
Um,
Possible.
Pastable.
Hmm.
So
3's not possible. Okay, so it's 4 or 5.
okay, 4 or 5. So we can. It doesn't have to be a Sunday anyway. We can always choose a Saturday or something because that's when our big events are on. Our big events are always on a Saturday.
I'm just saying we have like room in our calendar for like
Yeah,
a
definitely.
weekend thing.
It would be nice to say, you know, every month we've got a town hall, every month we've got a player hosted event, and every month we've got a quiz. And then maybe more in the future. But that would be a good place to start. Moving on from that. Version 2.1 of the Totus spreadsheet. We started discussing that, and obviously today is the day that everyone's going to be getting kicked from the 2.0 update. They're actually going to be getting kicked at midnight BST. So how long is that? That's another
4
4
5,
hours and
4 or
4
5.
minutes.
And just to
Yeah.
clarify, the
So-
people getting kicked will be the ones that haven't given us verified proof yet, or proof that
Yes.
they're verified.
If they, you know, if they haven't updated their spreadsheet, or if they have updated their spreadsheet but haven't sent us the whatever proof they need to send us, then they'll be axed. Now, do we have numbers on that? I think we do.
It's like 80 something, I think, last time I looked.
Yeah, I mean, I did the high scores yesterday, and we had about 197 verified members.
That's a lot better than what it was.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. So that means we're only losing like 80 to 90 max.
And I just got two other proof DMs, so it's 199 for now. Once those get handled.
Judging by the Totus tracker, there are a few people who are waiting to be removed from the clan anyway because they're people who just knew they weren't going to hit the deadline. I think there's like 2 people waiting to be removed for that reason. But if you don't count them, there are currently 84 people we're going to be removing. And we have 280 members in the clan, or 281. So I think that matches
Something
up
like
with what you did, Vasky. About 197 members will be left after the purge. But it sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, back when we went into 1.4, we lost a lot of people in 1.4 as well. I don't think it was that many. I think it was like 60 something, but it was, you know, still a lot of people. But I think the thing to take away from it is that our high scores and, you know, our clan list, our own personal tracker, things like that, they're all going to be much more cleaned up now, and our clan is going to be a lot more representative of the current active completionist community, which it is a shame in ways because some of the people who are going to be kicked are relatively or were relatively high ranked. But I think what we'll see, as we did in 1.4, is that eventually people will rejoin. We had quite a lot because what we'll do is hold details on our tracker for probably a month or 2. So then people who got kicked, they'll be able to reapply via DM instead of going on the application thread. So that would just save them a little bit of time if they, for whatever reason. I know people have legitimate reasons for not getting it in time. But I think overall the amount of time we gave was pretty fair, about 2 months, wasn't it? I think since 2.0 came out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, I procrastinated it till like the last week remaining. I did the quests just before I sent the 1 week reminders out. They're really not that bad. So I don't think there was too much of an excuse unless you're absolutely jam-packed with other work during those 2 weeks, 2 months even. Anyway, that will bring us down to 197 members, which is still quite a lot, I think, considering we're at 280.
Our applications are still healthy too. We're getting a steady stream of people coming in.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything too like concerning on that front.
Yeah, and then once we send out those DMs, there probably will be like another 20 members, I think, that were like realizing that they wouldn't get kicked.
Probably.
So they'll send us the initial proof, and we'll be able to get them back like in a process of 2 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
SKD asks, will they also get removed from Discord? I imagine yes, they'll be kind of removed from our clan, so they'd have the same kind of benefits as someone that isn't in the clan, which is not a whole lot.
Yeah, the only thing that they'll get is the ability to reapply via DM. So everything else will be taken away until they rejoin. But you know, there's been fair warning, I think.
Fair warning, and we're giving
6 weeks.
6 weeks, like 5 reminders or something, and we're giving them really easy access back in the clan should they want it. So, I mean, I think a lot of people, the situation is that they've just fell out of love with completionism, whereas it's something they saw themselves doing. Either they're not playing as much anymore, or that's just not how they want to play, which I think is fair. I think I may have said this in the last town halls, and Arp kind of touched on it earlier, but I'd like our clan to be the active completionist community, the people that are like constantly striving for those sort of goals, or just want to be in the community. So I don't think it's a huge loss. There's not a whole lot of people that are going to be kicked which are big in the kind of community, in the CC and the Discord, other than Slacks of course, but he's got his own reasons. But yeah, that's all I want to say really.
Slacks is on holiday, isn't he? He's planning to do it when he gets back.
Yeah, he said
There are a few. There were a few people who you may have seen in the ranks channel recently, people getting removed from the clan leading up to the deadline. You know, we've had quite a few people who have just said they simply have no interest in the game anymore. Not just like Totus or completionism, even the game itself. There are quite a lot of people who said that. There are also some people who did intend to reapply at a future stage. You know, they just realised they weren't going to hit the deadline. So I think gradually, along with the new applications, that number will just go up. If we do look at the numbers though over previous reminders, it's actually quite crazy. And what Matto was saying, where he thinks like another 20 people or so will respond after we kick them, I think he's right, because if we look before any reminders were sent out, this is just after we sent out the initial DM, 180 people hadn't responded. 180. That's how much is that? That's over 2/3 of the clan.
That was worrying.
So, yeah, when it was at 180, we were panicking. Well, I was panicking. Obviously, we didn't want to kick 180 people from the clan. But after the first reminder went out, that reduced dramatically down to 136. So still a lot, but you know that went down a lot. And then after this last reminder, which was sent out last week, was it last week or the week before? No, yeah, last week.
Last week, yeah.
It's now gone from 136 down to 86. So you know, every time we've sent a message, it's sort of caught up on people who either they forgot, or they didn't have the time to get round to it and seen the reminder, and they just get on it there and then. So I think the messages do work, even if it's like a reminder. Because you know, some people, they've got other stuff to do than just play the game, and having a DM can sometimes just remind them that there's something they need to do.
Yeah, Kegarus makes a good point. I mean, if they know they have 6 weeks time to do it, they might leave it until the last minute.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I saw a DM today, someone saying I should be able to get those quests done today. Well, I hope they get it done before the 12 AM deadline, but yeah, people really like put it off.
So yeah, no, when we kick everyone tonight, I think that sort of solidifies the fact that we're ready for another spreadsheet update. We're not ready for it, straight away, but ready for us to start distributing it. And one of the big downsides, negatives from 2.0 was the fact that was the fact that it took so long. Basically, it took about half a year to get 2.0 out from when 1.4 came out. So we have been talking behind the scenes about things that we can change to make sure that that doesn't happen again. One of the big things is to make sure that each of the generals has a role in developing 2.1, and they know exactly what they need to do, because it was very all over the place, you know, when 2.0 was being discussed. So I don't think the release of 2.1 will be too delayed. I say that now.
I mean, Not Hugo brings up a good point. Like, we need to know Zik rate. There's a couple of things.
I mean, yeah, there are a few things like that, but we've released spreadsheets before when we didn't know things like that. We released a spreadsheet.
Could just add arbitrary points.
Yeah, just on the sake of putting it on there. But there are, if we look at the 2.1 channel, there's already quite a bit on there to include.
Those capes too. I'd say those capes,
yeah,
and the pet is like enough time.
The capes are really going to shake it up.
At least we know how long it will take for both to, like hour-wise and points-wise.
Yeah, it's nice that there are already like estimates out there, and people have adapted to raids too. So Theatre of Blood so quickly that we already know. Isn't Theatre of Blood quicker than Raids 1 now? If you factor in the scouting time.
It's like 25 versus 35.
No, Raids 1 isn't 35. Oh, challenge times. Yeah, probably actually.
Kind of.
Yeah, challenge times. Yeah.
It's going to be harder.
I'd say 40 though. 40 minutes and 25 for theater, maybe 30.
We could always ask some experts.
Yeah.
35 centimeter. That's long, dude.
Oh, while we're on the topic of capes, quickly, we mentioned in our last private meeting the possibility of each tier of the cape giving some points, and then having obviously most of the points coming from the big one at the end, but basically doing it that way to kind of encourage people to go for these big tasks, because then like you do 100, I mean, you're not demotivated by thinking, oh, I have to do 2,000 before I get points. It's more like at 100 you get a small amount, at the next tier you get a bit more, you know?
Yeah, and we did sort of discuss this in the previous meeting about how we could make sure this was like uniform, and I think the conclusion we came to was the fact that was the only other thing we could think of chompy hats, the only other thing that worked like that was
so.
comp and not collection. I think it was, but if you think about it, capes are just completely different to something like chompy hats, taking it off every 50 kills or whatever it is. And it is nice to have something like that, I think. But in the past, you know, in like say we were in 1.2 or 1.3, we would just not have entertained that idea.
Sorry.
We would have just said it has to be the last cape and that's it. But I think the fact that we've sort of identified the issues mainly with 200 mil, that's given us a slightly different perspective. And on that topic, have we spoken publicly about what our plan is going to be for 200 mils?
Yeah.
We, in our last town halls, we said that we were thinking about it, and we said that we were kind of open to work on something like that. I mean, I'm not sure if we've openly said exactly what we've done.
Okay, so if I just briefly go over that then.
Well, I have the spreadsheet here. We could just show it to them.
Okay.
You could put the video in, maybe.
Well, they'd have to listen to the video, but...
Oh, Princess says, Matto proposed the idea he had in the last town hall. Okay, so we haven't given an update on that.
My phone's ringing.
Turn it
Don't care.
off.
Who
I'm
asked?
gonna have to talk in between.
I definitely didn't.
rings.
Wait,
No.
I could just take it away from here, or you can take the phone call.
It's too loud.
Grass princess.
Yeah, Matto, if you want to kind of discuss what you've done with that kind of
Yeah, sure.
and like maybe give people a little bit of an update on what we did discuss first, and then tell them where you took it.
Yeah, because I don't know if the people remember who were here in the last time, but we kind of wanted to give points for every experience you get. So
Now.
basically, say you would have 40 million attack XP and 200 mil points for attack is 480 points. You get 40% of those points. Well, not 1 point is 1 XP, that'd be ridiculous, but if you guys take a look at this link and join in here, so we can all watch together. If you can guys can see.
Let's have a little look.
Oh yeah, 20% alley, but you know what I mean.
I wish I could show this on the recording, but I don't think that's possible.
Please comment. Okay.
That's how mad of 15 entire gland.
I think
All
it's
right.
such a long task. Just to give some background as to why we even proposed this idea. Where 200 mil is so different from every other task, and also it's a task that we're able to automatically track, right? As you'll see from Matto's spreadsheet in just a moment. It almost felt like it was, you know, such an easy way for us to do it.
And again?
All right, Matto, I'll let you go through it.
All right. Well, this is pre-alpha, but as you guys can see in the cell A1, it has my name in there, and it directly imports the experience of the official RuneScape Heist course. That's what the spreadsheet does right now. First off, for maxing, we don't need proof for that anymore if we implement this. Basically, if we type in Arptacular, you guys can see that it automatically imports everything into the G column. So providing proof for Maxscape wouldn't be needed anymore, really. And you would automatically tick off the points whenever you get a 99, so you guys don't have to do that anymore. As for 200 mils, as you guys can see, before ARP wouldn't have any points for 200 mils because you had none, because everything is set to N, to no. But as you guys can see in cell A29, he just gets 744 points for all the experience he has gained.
We'd round that to the nearest 5.
Yeah. Well, you'll work your magic on that. That's okay. As I said, it's pre-alpha. But if I just go through a few of you guys to see,
Do me. Oh,
Dutchy Crazy, 820 points you would get, and you'd normally get 0.
and Matto, just
Basky.
to make sure,
So
this
that's what max
this
feels
doesn't
like.
include the XP up to max, right? It's only
Yeah.
post 99.
Yeah, so you only get points if you guys can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
D-Links.
if you guys can check
Duel Links Titan.
H cell 8, 32 or 30 or 31, you can see that all the points are from 99 to 200 mil in these cells.
Yeah, so
So
basically it wouldn't double count points.
yeah,
Is there?
Duel Links
So Basky
Titan.
would
Duel
get-
Links Titan.
Links Titan.
Yeah. Since he joined recently.
Oh,
You would get 9.3k points. Well, 9.8k almost. 9.4.
he's such a completionist.
Oh my gosh.
SKD.
It's my rank 1.
1.6k points you'd get.
So basically, this again, we're trying to tackle this thing of these huge goals which are putting people off completionist. We had to think about it, and this is basically a nice way to kind of go about giving people points for their progress towards these. I think I was at one point quite against doing milestones, but after thinking about it, like, I think Princess actually pointed it out that every experience point is completionist in its own way. So it's not kind of breaking any of our rules. I think the capes would be more so.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I think I'd value kind of our our members' quality of life and kind of keeping them motivated to go for this sort of thing rather than being anal about how we allocate points.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. We rather than like, we've been so uptight about the way that we do things that it has sort of led to some people being upset. 200 mils has just been a great way for us to show exactly what is wrong with the sheet, and it also goes to show that we can't do absolutely everything the same way. It goes to show that sometimes doing stuff a little bit differently to balance out, doing everything correct and doing things for the good of the clan, there is a balance there.
And it's it kind of comes from you guys. I mean, after we implemented 200 mils, we kind of had a look at how we were kind of working as a gen team, and this town halls is an example of how we want to change and kind of be more open and be a bit more like forgiving, listen to you guys, because I feel like 200 mils kind of hit people around the head a little bit, and hopefully this is more just a better way of like implementing that so that people are kind of a bit more receptive to it.
Oh yeah, it also applies what I showed with maxing, that it automatically says completed. If we look at mine, you can see that it automatically ticks off cooking and farming. So ticking those off won't be necessary anymore unless we want that, of course.
I think the only downside I can see with this really is the fact that we need their username in the spreadsheet somewhere. So that means
You could hide it in the hidden column.
Well, it was more a fact that the people name change, and CML does track the name changes, but not all of them. It only tracks name changes of people who CML update automatically, or who people update themselves. Like, say someone is rank 10,000 HP or something, like quite a low rank, and they update their name, but they don't use CML or anything like that. We won't get to see that their name has changed.
Couldn't we give a section in the spreadsheet where we ask people to put in their own RSN and then put a little note saying, if you change it, please update it here? Because then the only thing that happens then is that if they don't update their name, then they just lose points.
Yes, basically their own fault.
It is their own fault, but it's like that.
And
I don't know.
I still will do name changes before high score updates. That's what Basky and I will be working on together to kind of communicate so that every name change, as far as we know, is done and processed and entered, so to get everything as accurate as possible, really. And just don't change your name, guys. Fucking hell.
We will be able to see if someone changes doing it this way, we'll be able to see if it breaks for someone. Like, if say you updated everyone through CML, we would still be able to see if there was someone who hadn't been updated on CML, because it would break their spreadsheet basically, because it wouldn't be able to pull the numbers through. And I can sort of see that leading to some problems. For example, the people whose name don't update automatically on CML, we would have to go DM them, say what's your new name, or anything like that. Or we could just set all their points to 0 for that, but it almost seems like some people aren't going to want to do that. And I don't know. It could be, maybe we could have automatic updates to be like an opt-in thing. Like, you can either put in your XP if that's what you want to do, or if if you want to be responsible for making sure your username is up to date, then opt into automatically updating it. What do you think?
Yeah.
What were you asking?
I'll leave the technical stuff to you.
Because it sort of that covers the people who I know people aren't going to update their name. I'll just say that now. People aren't going to go into their spreadsheet every time they update their name.
Should we
That's a
worry
fact.
about this kind of more nitty-gritty technical stuff in one of our private ones? Because I have a couple of things I want to touch on, and I can see us dragging this out.
Yeah, okay, we've lingered on this a little bit. But Matt, you did a really good job with what you've done.
Thanks.
Yeah, smashed it.
But
Yeah,
I don't think it should be
really works really well.
that big of a problem really with name changes, because most CML checks like 99% of those, so I don't think we'll have that big of issues with them, and most high rank players don't change their name anyway, so should be good.
Zoid.
Who?
So yeah.
I've never updated my name on Uptastic, ever.
Yeah, guys,
People change their name.
cultivate a strong brand for yourself. Find something that works and stick with it.
The only time it's acceptable to change your name is if your real name becomes available.
No,
Putting Totus in front of it.
those names are lame.
How's that lame? I would love to have my first name as my username.
Exactly.
Oh!
But shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Moon Buell asked a question earlier, and he asked, "Are high scores going to be public?"
What do you mean?
As
public
in,
to everybody?
I imagine so. So our high scores, which are currently only viewed if you have access to the Totus subreddit, I guess he's wondering whether we can make that more open so that anyone can see, so that, let's say, Moon Buell wants to show his friends that he's rank whatever Totus, he can send them the high scores, everyone can check it out, see who's where, and yeah, make it a bit more public.
Well, I suppose eventually with the subreddit revamp, one of the things we were talking about was making the subreddit public, wasn't it? So I suppose if we have high scores on the subreddit and it's public, then doesn't that solve itself?
Yeah,
Princess says, since the subreddit is currently dead anyway, can't we just make it public? It is dead, but we're planning to make it not dead.
Well, couldn't we just open it until it's under construction? For now?
basically, is there any reason that we're keeping it not public?
I suppose not. What I could do is just delete all the things on the subreddit that don't relate to high scores, since they don't get used, and then open that up so when we post a link, anyone can access it.
It would also mean that we don't need to ask people for Reddit accounts, because something I've noticed in apps is that like 90% of people don't have a Reddit account.
Yeah, it's one less thing to ask people for, I suppose. Especially where if you think about what we use, Discord is the one we use the most, by far.
It would be one less thing to put on the tracker too.
Yeah. Although there were advantages to having a Reddit username though, isn't there? 'Cause we were talking about giving people flares and all that on the subreddit, which would be more appropriate if it does become used more.
This might not be the best place for me to say this, and it may have just been because so much time has lapsed since we kind of first started talking about it, but I'm not so sure that my idea of the subreddit is needed.
What?
I just haven't seen any. I just don't think it's solving a problem. Like, I think we worked on our FAQ, so our FAQ is way more robust now.
Yeah.
When people have odder questions, they ask them in help, they're answered quite quickly. There's a little bit of repetition, but when that happens, I can put it in the FAQ. I just don't think having this giant subreddit with all these videos and resources is overly necessary. I just don't see too many people asking for it, and it is a lot of work.
Yeah, maybe the return isn't as good as what the input would be.
Just
well, let me have a think about that.
niche completionist stuff. A few guides.
Let me have a think about what we could do. And maybe it is the fact that we've sort of scaled it up too grandly in our minds and imagined it as this massive thing when maybe it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I think this might be more appropriate for another time, but I just thought I'd mention it here while we're on the topic.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay. I'll have a think, and maybe we can talk about that again in our next gen meeting.
Another thing we mentioned on the topic of high scores, and I'm not sure whether we came to a conclusion, was making a Google sheet which serves as the high scores, which automatically updates and pulls information from people's spreadsheets.
That would have a privacy issue, right?
Yeah, there was the only real issue with that is the privacy issue. I think there is one workaround we could do potentially, which would be to pool everyone's information into a. Wait, hang on, I'm talking about the tracker here. So the tracker already looks at people's spreadsheets, obviously, because that's how we do the high scores. Yeah, I can't think right now of how we would do that without revealing links to things.
But
Okay.
Because if we made a public Google sheet, what they could do is make a copy of the sheet and then get the link to where we're pulling the information from and look at that.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true,
look
because
at-
even if you put it in view only, they can still look at the formulas, right?
Princess says that the sheet like that isn't really needed if we make the current high scores public, which is true. Basker, do you find any difficulty really in updating the high scores via the subreddit, or would you say that it's quite...
It's really easy, and it's easier now afterwards, after we made the changes with proof. It takes me like 5-10 minutes. It was more that, like, if we could automate that, then it saves me 5-10 minutes. But
we'd almost need like a website for that.
But if we have to like put any actual effort into doing it outside of then it's not worth it. I'd just keep doing it on the subreddit. Or we could. I know people want to put the high scores on Discord, but I think we concluded that there's no real way for us to do that properly. No.
The character limit as well, right?
Yeah, character limit, search function, Reddit. Better.
Yeah, it's just So it's not a problem really. Another thing, unless anyone else has any burning questions, another thing I wanted to get on was, and we've talked about this before, but will we ever be releasing a public stripped back spreadsheet for people that are interested in maybe tracking completionist progress, but they may not want to join the clan or get all the kind of benefits that come with a full spreadsheet? And I'm talking just like tasks, yes or no.
I still want to do that.
I'm not a fan.
There are disadvantages to it. Main one being that it's gonna potentially turn people away from joining. But I think if we do it right, then there's always the main Totus sheet is always going to be so much better than having a public version, because even with a public version, we're not going to update those for people. If someone needs to update their sheet or something like that, just join and then we'll update it for you. And also it's going to look better, the real Totus sheet. It's going to have more features. There's just I don't really. Well, then again, the main reason I would want to release a public spreadsheet is for people who wanted to join the clan but couldn't yet. But I know
But
it can be used by some people who just simply won't join.
I see so many DMs when people come in and they provide initial proof and they get at it, and they're so happy to join the clan for finally. I'm happy to finally be a part of this clan. So they've been working towards having the spreadsheet, and they've been working on their goals and their achievement diaries so they could join the clan. And I don't want to take that away from the clan, really. Because if you already have like a stripped down spreadsheet and you don't know what the difference is between the actual spreadsheet and this one, then why join the clan?
That's true. I mean, I only asked because I had a friend of mine who's an Ultimate Iron Man and like likes to do various completionist things, and came to me and said like, hey, can you give me a copy of the spreadsheet? I mean, I said no, of course, but like it got me thinking, like, an Ultimate Iron Man like him, he's never going to have the Rex to join. He's interested in completion, and he made the point of like, well, all the information's on the forum. It's just data entry at that point. Like, if they wanted to put the time in, they could make their own. So I thought like, if we had our own, at least it would be like official and we could update it and whatnot.
Yeah, so that's a good point. On the forums, obviously we've got that full list, but they're just images, so you can't really do much with it. Yeah, it's a tough one, because there are definitely advantages to it, but there are also disadvantages.
Guys in here didn't seem keen. Sorry.
Princess says, we've discussed it before, and I think everyone was in favour of it back then. I think the only people we'd turn away from joining would be the kind of people who apply it only for the sheet and don't interact with the clan. The thing that concerns me the most is high score accuracy. The more people we've got in the clan, the more accurate the high scores are. That's the only thing that really concerns me. And if the public spreadsheet is going to turn people away from joining, that means our high scores are going to be less accurate.
That's a good point. Because I've always said like, oh, I'm rank 9 completionist. But what that really means is, oh, I'm rank 9 in Totus.
Yeah.
But for the most part, serious completionists are in the clan, even if they don't interact with us. They're at least like there, have a physical presence. Like,
I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but if you take someone who's high ranked but doesn't really interact with the clan too much, for example, I'm sure he's not going to mind me saying this, like Smithy, for example. Obviously, he's rank 1 in Totus at the moment, but he doesn't really join our clan chat. But that's not because he doesn't like Totus; it's because he is also in another clan. He's in Oblivion, and he, has roots there. So for some people, I can see it just doesn't work to join the clan chat. But if you imagine back in the day, if Smithy had a choice between joining the clan or just getting the spreadsheet so he could see, he might, having known nothing about us at the time, he might have just thought, well, I don't know anyone in there. I don't really see a point in joining if I can just get the sheet. He may not have thought like that, but I imagine some people will.
It seems like we're leaning towards a no.
Yeah, it's still.
We have to make a good reason for having it if we're going to do it, and we have to think of a way that's going to make the people who use it know, first of all, what Totus is, and second of all, why they should bother joining it if they've already got a copy of the sheet. There are advantages, but those would have to be communicated quite effectively.
And I think that's maybe something for us to look at ourselves as a clan and say, what are we offering other than the sheet? Because I think it's telling that if we're kind of afraid of giving the sheet out for free and afraid that's going to stop people joining, then it's like, okay, well, what else can we offer?
I think it's the same for any clan, though.
It's not worth the time and effort, really.
If you thought about Hexis, for example, if you could get the benefits of joining a clan like Hexis, for example, being able to compare yourself with the other members on there, join in with their competitions, get retweets from the Totus account, from the Hexus account, things like that.
Quizzes.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so. It's being part of that community, being competitive within that community, and getting access to the sort of resources. Because, like, to be fair, like, a lot of people use our help channel and they ask questions and they get good, informed answers.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't get if you weren't part of Totus. Like,
No.
and there's so many things that you can ask.
And the issue is that some people just wouldn't know about what you could get from joining Totus until they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in favour of being a bit elitist and keeping the spreadsheet a bit quieter, or a bit less public. Because, yeah, as I said, like, if people wanted to get an up-to-date completionist thing, they can check our forums. They could even make their own spreadsheet.
Yeah.
If they
And
wanted
getting
to.
an achievement diary cape these days isn't that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one, so.
Yeah.
I think the only really negative of what we currently do is like you said, a couple of people who just join and then are slightly inactive outweighs the positives from it, like people wanting to join and then that being more accurate.
And even those sort of people get cleaned up when we have a spreadsheet update. Like, of the 84 people who we're kicking now, I wonder how many of those actually interact with the clan in any way. I'd be surprised if it's more than 5.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth the time for the demand there is.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much demand.
I haven't seen any, really.
And how many people are interested in Completionists that don't, or aren't close to getting a diary cape?
Exactly.
Like, I think it's not something to really be thinking about if you're, like, just starting off.
I don't really care for Completionist, to be honest.
I think the main reason that the achievement diary cape was chosen in the first place was because getting the achievement diary cape sort of gets you in the mindset of going through a list and completing things. The achievement diary cape is like a baby version of the Totus spreadsheet. You go through the achievement diaries and tick off each little task in there, and then you join and you get a bigger task list.
Yeah, okay, well that answers my question.
Alright.
Princess says it was chosen because we got too many applications with requirements for any hard diaries.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said first off was hard,
Yeah.
not elite.
That was it was because when Aubrey and I opened the clan, we just didn't imagine we would get anywhere near as many apps as we did. Day 1 was just under 60 apps, so we panicked a bit and thought we'd hit the limit really early on.
What we could do, if we ever get a new clan system, is use a friend rank for that. So people who are interested in joining the clan and are interested to looking for help and be a part of our community, we could do hard diaries or another requirement for that. But I just don't see it happening right now. Like Hexus has with friend rank right now, like people who are interested in joining the clan but don't really have the racks but do have impressive EHP weeks or months. They get to join the clan because they're interested in that mindset.
I would really love to have the clan system in, because getting people who are, if we had everybody who was interested in the clan also in Totus right now, we would probably be near our limit. Like, if we lowered our requirements to join, I would say we'd probably be close to the member limit, considering we almost got up to 300 members with a diary cape. Saying about 100 members with all hard diaries isn't too outlandish of a thing to expect.
Yeah.
So
but
the clan system would work so well.
Yeah, we could do so many things with that, and it would work great, definitely.
It's a whole nother
I would
expectation, isn't it?
actually love it if that clan system could personally give moderator rights to the generals, but still they could show us our own rank. So
Yeah, that'd be nice.
that would be awesome.
Imagine
Oh.
being able to edit the clan from your own account. I think how to log into Totus as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
So nice.
One last thing, just to quell any kind of doubts. I'm not sure if they exist, but especially after Oblivion upped their entry recs. Is there any plans to up the entry recs for Totus?
No, there aren't. And I did see some people who did the little, I don't know what it's called, but you know that thing where they say, "Oh, you've done this, what's next?" When we raised the requirements a little while ago in 1.4, I had a few people asking me sarcastically if we were going to make max cape an entry requirement, and I can't see us ever sort of raising the bar from achievement diary cape unless we are proper desperate for spaces. But even then, you know, it's a whole nother conversation which we're just not going to have.
It's not just that, because the game itself already ups our requirements by adding quests.
Yeah.
So people who are inactive will get deleted anyway. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like EHP going up all the time because of everyone's gaining EHP. Our ones, we're always gaining quests, and whether they're big quests like the one we've had recently or small ones, that like the little Karend teleport quests, each of those sort of whittle out the people who are no longer playing or interested in comp.
And I think it comes down to, I mean, we call ourselves a high-level completionist clan, and it kind of comes down to what we view as high level. For Oblivion, for them to be viewed as elite, I think they went for the Inferno Cape, and I think that was probably a good idea for them to be seen as kind of the most elite PVM clan for kind of your big skilling clans. It's like EHP requirements, and that's what they consider to be elite or high level. And I think for us, like, it's a bit less serious than that. We're not competitive with any other completionist clans, so we don't need to kind of keep on upping our recs to kind of one up each other. So
Yeah, maybe if Sutot rises.
Maybe if Sutot rises, but I'm happy like that everyone that's got a diary cape is kind of high level enough where they can like.
and keep in mind it's only friend rank. It's not like you are actually ranked in the CC. Take some time to get recruit if you're just have the achievement diary cape.
Friend ranks are people too.
I know, but like it takes a while. If you just have the achievement diary cape, that's your base. That's everything you have. It's gonna take you a while for recruit. So
I think our requirements have, especially with recent updates, they've really sort of made themselves more difficult. Like, completed all 12 mini quests, spellbook related tasks, okay, that's not too difficult. But then you've got music, the music cape is getting harder as we go along. More tracks being released for that. I know you can spectate a Theatre of Blood for the tracks, but there are some sort of, they're getting more difficult. And I mean, Sergeant is max cape for a clan that's not a skilling clan. I think that's telling, especially since we've got quite a lot of sergeants and above.
We've got a lot of max players. We've also got a lot of players with Infernal capes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're almost maxed as a clan.
Almost construction.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh
So
yeah,
what
Totus
stats?
Well, like
Yes.
number of max players, numbers of players with Infernal cape, average stats.
So something, there have been quite a few stats requested. Pet high scores being one of them. And I would absolutely love to do Totus stats because I've already done like one or two, but not many. And unfortunately, some of the really good suggestions started coming out just after 2.0 was released. And I couldn't do it then because people hadn't updated their sheets. But after tonight, we know that everybody who is in the clan has updated their sheet. So that means we can start rolling out some accurate Totus stats, which would be nice.
PogChamp.
Monthly stat tweets, Princess S. I would love to do that.
would we For pets, would we do points or hours or number?
All of them?
Oh.
No? We could easily tweet out all of those. Like in one tweet, I mean, not the...
Let's do one at a time. Let's kind of keep it going, make it a regular thing. Oh, I already deleted it by the way up. Yeah, let's do that, because I think that's really interesting, and I think something like a Pet High Scores, we have the infrastructure that allows us to accurately kind of do that sort of thing, and as we are kind of the pet hunting clan, or at least pet hunting's a big part of it.
Yeah.
We
I
kind of
could
show.
pull a report right now on how many people have Infernal Cape, or how many pets each person has, how many pet points each person has.
Average pets, most common pet, least common pet.
Most kicked user. Oh wait, no.
Slacks.
But yeah, spreadsheet based things, we can definitely tweet out stats about those. And I think once we do like one or two, we'll start getting requests for more. But I already do have some ideas based on what people have suggested.
It would make the Totus Twitter a little bit more active, because I love when you do polls and stuff, like getting people involved in that, kind of spreading the Totus account around a bit.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Who's meanest Jen?
Oh, I'm too scared to post that poll again.
That needs to be updated, because I wasn't on the last one.
We'd have to miss Ozzy's off though, because he's the newest.
It's only fair.
Or the Prince ticket.
I don't think you'd win anyway though, Ozzy's, to be fair.
Ozzy's too nice.
Yeah, too nice. That will change after a few months. Give it a few months and you become more cynical.
Let the power go to your head a bit.
Can't wait for Ozzy's first kick.
Yeah, first CC kick. That's when it all happens. Oh, I remember mine.
Do you?
I think I kicked
Yes.
Angeli's for the first time. Don't remember.
Who was yours, Busky?
It was probably Diano.
Oh, the times. Max whip. Oh, he was one. That's a good kick, yeah.
I don't remember mine. Wish my first one was Slushy.
Who knows? Does any do you have anything else to bring up before we open the floor to?
Let me just have a quick look at something I may do, but probably not. I think I've covered everything.
Because we're nearing the hour mark.
Oh. Let's see. Right. The Totus Drive. I'm going to post the link to that to Lounge this evening. I'll let you guys have a little snoop and tell me what you want to add to that or change if you think anything needs changing.
Pog Champion.
I just want to add the final touches to that, and then I'm gonna send you guys the link. So I'll do an @ here later on just to grab all your attention. So if you don't have time to look at it tonight, don't worry. Just whenever you get round to it, it's not going to go anywhere. Anything else? Oh, may as well just mention it since we're here. To those of you who didn't see the tweet, since Ozzy has been made a gen now, he's actually also going to Runefest, so that's 4 of us, 4 of the gens.
Well, hey!
And our Runefest channel is slowly growing. If you're going to Runefest, tell us. We would like to have you in the channel too.
It's pretty lit. We have our own little thing going in there.
Yeah, only cool kids get access to that channel.
Yeah, there's inside jokes already, and yeah,
like
again,
forming a wheel.
yeah.
Oh god, Princess is gonna take care of the CC for 3 days.
Yeah. I wonder
But
if
yeah,
there'll be anyone left when we come back.
We're organising meetups. We're doing all that sort of stuff. So buy your tickets. Arp says you can stay in his room if you can't find a hotel.
Oh god. Also, speaking of Runefest, the early bird tickets have obviously finished now, but something I didn't realise is that the streamer discount.
Ozzy's first kick.
So if
Who?
you wanna, who did he kick?
PTO?
Why?
Who'd you kick, Aussies?
Kicked put knights.
Kick.
Oh, he kicked us out.
Oh.
Too
Too nice. This is what I mean.
Wait, I want to
Kick
kick
a
my.
random unsuspecting person.
I'm gonna kick my.
Anyway, yeah. So RuneFest at the moment, the tickets are £150, but if you apply one of these streamer discounts, it costs £135. Mod Archie tweeted out some streamer codes. So if you're going to buy a ticket, apply one of those codes, save yourself 15 quid via Domino's Pizza. Okay, I'm done. We'll run through each gen, see if anyone's got any questions, and then we'll open up to the hashtag the chat. Basky, anything you would like to raise?
I love you all.
I love you all too.
Hashtag the grind.
You're all the best. You make me want to log into the game. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I love you too, Slushy.
Apart from including Slushy.
Including Slushy.
Whoa. Whoa.
Matto, do you have anything you would like to raise?
I'm gay.
Okay, right. Okay, Aussies, is there anything you would like to raise?
I'm
Oh,
also
really?
gay.
Oh. Okay, that was worth waiting. Princess, anything you would like to raise? Are you also gay?
Yeah. In Kennel, she's confirmed.
Take that as a hat trick.
Okay, well, that's 4 out of 5 of us. So we'll now open it up to the chat. Do any of you have any questions you would like us to talk about officially?
PTO is gay.
Only
Who's
you can
gay?
answer that.
This is your
73 a
only
funny
chance
number?
to get
No.
a serious answer from Uptastic on any question.
Yeah, every other time is going to be a sarcastic answer. So if you actually want me to answer,
Arp. Is 73 a funny number?
no, it's not.
Actually,
Funny about it, and
it's-
there's never been anything funny about it.
I know saying this is only going to ask for more, but I actually don't find it funny at all, and I think it's a sign of a clan without real humour.
No, it's a
Let's-
sign of your depression.
I've never laughed at 73 joke. I'll just say that now.
But
Mm.
how? It's yeah, it's
I laugh at
hilarious.
jokes about people who make 73 jokes.
Oh, did everyone see that picture of Boaty? Whoa, he's a big lad, isn't he?
Wait, so you like 2 dicks now?
Matto.
Congrats to Bloopy on your yes. Congrats, Bloopy. I know he's not here, but our second general since we upped our
Captain.
captain. Yeah, did I say general? I meant
Yes.
captain. Since we raised our, well, I know technically we lowered our requirements going into 2.0, but technically with
The picture.
it actually got more difficult. So, congrats to Bloopy for that.
Congrats to
Two
Bloopy.
captains now.
Princess, when are you getting captain?
When is Slacks getting general? He's not getting general. He's getting kicked. Anyone else got questions before we end it off?
Speak now
Okay.
or forever hold your peace.
Okay, I think that's it. So if you guys come up with anything that you want us to address formally in the next town hall, which is going to be next month, let's see when the date that is. It's going to be the 5th of August, because it's the first Sunday of every month. So 5th of August is going to be the next one. Is everyone available again for 7 PM BST?
I should be.
Wait, SKD has a question. Have you considered making Discord mandatory?
Considered it, but no, not going to. Because we already forced people to get Twitter. I think that's enough.
We're a libertarian Discord, or a libertarian clan, which lets people do what they want, as long as it's within our rules.
Consider
if they
getting
join
rid of
Twitter.
Reddit. Yes, have considered that, but probably not going to get rid of it.
Even if it just
No.
exists as a high scores page, like it's worth having it then, I think.
Yeah.
Ask, are you going to be ready at available at 7 p.m. BST on the 5th of next month?
I'll make sure I'm ready. Arp, are you going to make sure your microphone works on that date?
Oh my god, that was so stressful. I need a shower now because I was sweating from that.
Yeah.
Pour in buckets. Matto, are you going to be
I'm gonna be ready.
Are you going to be available at
I'm gonna
7
be-
p.m. BST?
I'm gonna
on the
be
5th
ready.
of August. Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Ozzy, so you going to be around?
Wait, let me just check my calendar.
Totus calendar?
Marnix's event calendar.
Oh no, I can't do it.
Oh.
I've got a town hall meeting.
Oh my god.
Hmm?
Princess,
Okay.
are you available? Okay. Alright, so the next one is going to be the 5th of August at 7 p.m. BST. And there is one thing I forgot before we go. The prize draw is today. So the prize draw to get a picture and a bond. We haven't done those for a few months because the whole quizzes weren't on and things like that. But quizzes have been, but since we restarted quizzes now, the prize draw is back on. So anyone with any amount of valor has a chance of winning. If you've referred people to the clan in the meantime, or if you participate in a quiz, if you're in the Discord, which you should be if you're listening to this, or if you're in the subreddit, you'll have extra valor which you didn't have before, and you'll be able to see all that today. We'll do a tweet, we'll do a hashtag announcements post as well, so that to look forward to.
So refer people if they're into Completionist, if they've recently got a diary cape, if you think they'd enjoy our lovely and friendly and apparently gay community, refer them and then make sure they put your name in their application.
How many points is it? I think it points. I keep calling it points. Valor. I think it's 40 valor for referring someone. I might be wrong, but I think it's 40. So it's a chunk. It's a chunky amount, guys.
It's a healthy amount, yeah.
We'll go to the Grand Exchange and try and recruit people. Don't spam it though.
Yeah, no spam bots.
You
Or-
spam it, you lose valor.
If you do use spam bots, just don't tell us about it.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss. Okay, I think that's it, guys.
Bye
Ozzy's is
everyone.
getting his emote soon.
Bye.
I love you.
Gay.
Knock on the draw.